So tonight I watched a film that I have been meaning to see for a very long time and somehow never got around to watching, despite the directors being the making of one. They made one of my favorite films from a few years ago. Like it was my favorite film of the year. Um, that being Chicken with Plums, which I don't know if you can. It's dark, but that dark thing that you can't see right there, that poster, that's the Chicken with Plums poster. Anyways, that would be Marjane Satrapi and Vincent Paronnaud. So obviously I watched Persepolis. How I've gone 8 years not having seen Persepolis is like, what the fuck? So that's part of like this year was catching up on things that I should have seen by now. And I definitely should have seen this film by now. I didn't actually mean to leave it to the end of the year, but I kept not getting to it, and I thought it would be a lot darker than it was. It was sad, but it was hopeful at the same time. And I don't know. I never felt like I was in the right mood for it, and I think you can be in any mood and watch this movie. It's quite good. That said, also watch Chicken with Plums, but that's a very depressing film. So, yes. So this is on Amazon. You can rent it. I rented it. That's how I watched it. And it's obviously probably everyone who's watching this has probably seen it because I'm like the last person in the world to see this movie. But it's based on the autobiographical graphic novel of the same name by Marjane Satrapi about her growing up in Tehran post the Iranian Revolution. And it's about her and her family being sort of a little subversive and against the regime, and not really playing by the rules, and then her having to like basically leave the country because her unruly teenageness was too much, and then her her trying to come back, and her years back there, but then realizing that Iran is not the place for her. Which must have been a horrific decision to have to make. I can't even imagine having to leave your country. Like, it's terrible. And she had to leave her grandmother, which at that point I was sobbing. It's beautifully illustrated. It's that kind of illustration where you sort of go in, like, it almost feels 3D, even though it's not 3D. It's just beautiful film. And it's got a great voice cast with Chiara Mastroianni and Chiara Mastroianni and Catherine Deneuve, who is Chiara Mastroianni's mother. Both of whom I believe are in Chicken with Plums. I know Chiara is. Anyways, it's a great film. Just one of the best animated films I've ever seen. One of the best films, period, I've ever seen. Fabulous. I know she's made a few other films. I did not see her film The Voices earlier this year, specifically because I didn't think I would enjoy the subject matter. But I know my friend Juan really liked it, so, maybe check that out. I don't know if I'll get to it. Not this year, obviously. I have a day left. Speaking of which, I have a day left. Oh my god. We're, almost done. That said, I am not going to suddenly not watch any films directed by women. After tomorrow, obviously not everything I watch, but most of what I watch is probably still going to be directed by women. And I'm for sure going to do the Women in Film Los Angeles' 52 Films by Women challenge, which is basically watching a film a week directed by women. You should do that too. I will probably do more than that, but at least that, and you should as well, because there's so many great films. And even though I watched over 300 films this year, and by the time I'm done, I think it's going to be like 303, something like that, there's thousands of films directed by women, and I am still trying to watch them all, so, I'll keep going. So this was Persepolis. Again, it came out in 2007. It was nominated for an Oscar. It lost to Ratatouille. I mean, I love Ratatouille, but I can kind of see why they would not, Academy voters wouldn't go for Persepolis over Ratatouille. This is such a good film. You should watch it if you haven't already. This was Marjane Satrapi and Vincent Paronnaud's Persepolis. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to say when I saw Chicken with Plums the first time, I saw it in theaters a couple times. I saw it at the San Francisco International Film Festival, and Marjane Satrapi was there, and she is pretty much exactly how I pictured her to be. Like, And then watching this after having seen her, I'm like, yes, they captured her essence. I mean, obviously she's capturing her own essence, but she captured her own essence pretty well, I think. Which, you know, that's kind of a bizarre thing to think about, sort of putting yourself into something. Like, I don't know what kind of me I would create if I had made it semi-autobiographical thing. I don't know. Anyways, 2007's Persepolis. Very good. You can rent it on Amazon if you haven't already seen it.